Hello everyone, this is M22 Frogger. Not much has been going on in the whole fucking usual that I make videos on. I have been tending to separate myself from, little Onision crap. There's only like so much somebody can actually take when exposing somebody. I've been doing doing videos on him for a long time, and poning the shit out of him for a long time, and after a while, you kind of have to separate yourself depending on what exactly you're talking about. But being as though that this topic is still relatively relevant in what he's doing, let's talk about the whole suicide shit. I neglected to make a video on it. Something happened. I know I posted that I was going to make a video about it, but I decided against it. Not for any real particular reason. I just didn't feel like it would be necessary for some odd reason. And then I get a comment by somebody. I can't remember the first part. It starts with an L. I think it's like laser bot or some shit. It's like, it started with an L and an A, and then the second part of the name is bot, and I'm just like, fucking Greg has contacted me in the past with sock accounts, and it's great that I also get his child wife that is also having a child, babies having babies, commenting on my stuff, and made a point in the comments that I left for his suicide video. I believe I mentioned in my comment that I have been suicidal, and I believe I have. And this person goes, I doubt you were ever really suicidal, because most people that are suicidal tend to not talk about it. And went on to saying how she doubts that I ever felt like that. You can talk about it. If you have been suicidal, you can talk about it. If you're over that stage of your life, you can talk about it. Depending on the audience, depending on who's listening. You might be worried about the feedback behind it. But when you're talking on a forum to somebody that makes videos like how Greg does, he tries to desensitize the minds of his young subscribers in order to think a certain way. And one of the ways in which he's trying to change their way of thinking is making jokes about suicide, and then repeatedly telling people to kill themselves, and thinking that's funny. You can talk about being suicidal. The mere fact that you're talking about it doesn't mean that you never experienced what it's like to be suicidal. It doesn't. You can talk about it if you're over it. And depending on who you're talking to, because you bet your ass, if somebody's gonna sit there and make jokes about suicide, and I got an issue with it, I'm gonna talk about it. And others have too. So are you negating everybody else? Are everybody pulling shit out of their ass? Because I've met actually the majority of my friends at one point or another. Even Take Shot Action has posted that he was suicidal. Some guy at 27 posted once and told everybody that he was suicidal at one point. You know, you can talk about it depending on the circumstance and why you're doing it. Doesn't fucking matter. If you feel that it's necessary to talk about it, then you're going to. What you're confusing is when somebody is currently suicidal and is about to kill themselves. More often than not, 99% of the time, which is a made-up number, it's probably more like between like 90 and like 99, or maybe 85 and 99% of the time, when people that are legitimately suicidal, they don't tell anybody about it, they go ahead and do it. The people that come out and say they're suicidal, or they're going to kill themselves rather, and they do that, more often than not, they're not going to. That is usually just a cry out for help. It's not calling for attention seeking, it's calling out for, they're looking for aid. That's what that means. But people that are actually suicidal and are going to kill themselves don't say shit. They do it. But that's where you're confusing with what I wrote. I had written about how I had felt last year on multiple occasions. And I explained to him in grave detail why it was fucked up to have made a video and posts about this, because it's the same man that has said time and time again that he never told somebody to kill themselves, and up until this point apparently never thought that would be funny, even though he has made suicide videos in the past, even though that's how his comedy goes. He makes suicide jokes, he makes self-injury jokes. And even though he told a follower of his that contacted him via Twitter, and he made a video about this, he told his follower that he is the way he is in terms of being suicidal and depressed because it's his fault, and then proceeded to make fun of him. Do we forget this? Oh, but it's comedy? This is a question to the bananas. Is this the guy you want to have as your role model? Or are you guys just a couple 100,000 sock accounts that he subscribed to himself with? Seriously. You want that to be your role model? And let me explain it like this. This is how Greg looks at comedy. It's subjective to the person. If someone finds any given situation funny, it's considered comedy. Really. So, slavery. Let's say I found that funny. It's not, hypothetically though. Let's say I found that funny. I found slavery to be hysterical. Just a hoot and a holler. Is it comedy? What about the Holocaust, Greg? You didn't make a video about that, but you were going to make 9/11 fail. And you did, on 9/11. What if I found the Holocaust funny? I mean, I wouldn't. because, you know, I'm not a Nazi fuckface. But at the same time, I also wouldn't find it funny because my great-grandmother actually escaped the Nazi invasion of then Czechoslovakia in 1933 or so, on or around that time. So, if I found that funny, would it be comedy? Because by your definition of what makes something comedy, then I guess the Holocaust would be a joke. This is your role model. This is somebody that you want to go to for help. And I know I'm late with all this shit, and I probably wouldn't even have made this video if it wasn't for this person's comment. This kind of set me over the edge to make this video, and as you can clearly see, I'm very much fucking completely done and upset with this. In all reality, I was pissed off, but I felt that I made way too many videos about Greg, back to back to back, so I chose not to, and I let other people talk and say what they wanted to say. But this person made a nice little comment that I felt like I should comment on, but not on Greg's fucking video to respond. Nor did I want to message this person. And it's not like I'm telling my fans to, hey, go after that person, because I want to be right, number one. Number two, I don't even really remember the person's name other than the first 2 letters of the name and then the last 3 letters of her name. So that's kind of funny, especially if that indeed was Lainey. Huh. Oh, Lainey. I feel bad for you. It's okay, let's all feel bad for Lainey. But yeah. So, now that the pink elephant in the room has been addressed, if you've been paying attention to that motherfucker over there instead of me, I wouldn't be surprised. That's my girlfriend's Gizmo. Isn't he adorable? But yeah. Please, feel free to message or comment me about anything you want me to make a video of. I noticed I actually went up like fucking 10 subscribers out of nowhere like the other day. So guys, if you want me to make any kind of video, any topic you want me to do, feel free to message me. Comment. I've done it in the past. I will actually respond to it and stuff. So yeah, don't be afraid to ask. Anyway, it's Spam24, so signing out.